Operating in a path and in a way that gives you peace and gives you hope is the goal for all of us. We all desire to get to a place that we feel fulfilled and that we feel full of joy and full of accomplishment. So, how do we get there? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Sunshine State. My name is Sonshine Wiley, and I am your host. Today, I have a guest with me, and we're going to discover a few things. We're going to talk about some things that help us to understand what's the best way to create a path that allows us to be truest to ourselves and to operate in purpose. I have Miss Sharice Bryant with me today. I want to let her introduce herself because she can do it better than anybody else. So, without further ado, tell us about yourself. Tell us your story.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Sharice Bryant, and I'm a lot of different things. I am an author, content creator, a filmmaker, videographer. What else do you want to know?
All the things, girl.
All the
Tell them your
things.
business now.
Well, I'm originally from Michigan. Moved here about 12, 13 years ago from Florida. Went to Bethune-Cookman University.
Aw.
I came out here for film school in 2012,
Mhm,
and I've been out here since, just creating my own path, doing a
mhm.
lot of different things, and finding happiness in all those different avenues.
Yes, I love it. Thank you, God. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate the invitation, you accepting the invitation. When I came across your profile, I was like, "This girl is interesting." It's so weird how I came across your profile because you're following another person that I don't even remember who the person is, but when it came to being able to see that profile, and then yours popped up. And I
Mhm.
was like, "Why is her profile popping up?" Like, one of those suggested friends things.
Oh, okay.
And then so when that happened, it was just like, let me try to figure out who she is. So I just kind of went through and did my internet snooping. And I was like, "Oh, she's pretty dope." And then I just saw the blog thing where you do the movie reviews and things like
Mhm.
that. And then I saw where you in the past had done like the film things like that, the short film.
Yeah.
And then I also saw that you had some affiliations with some sorority that I'll let you talk about a little bit later. And so I was like, "Oh, okay, this is pretty cool. She's a cool person to be around." I actually was starting to really find guests and things like that. And I was like, "Well, why not?" I really have not had a whole lot of Black women who operate in TV and film here. So
Mhm.
I was like, "Okay, well, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's try to see it." So that's kind of how I was like turned on to and introduced to who you are. And then when we had our conversation, I was like, "Oh, she's dope as hell. Like, this is cool." So thank you again for joining
Well,
today.
thank you for the invite.
I just want to jump right in.
Okay.
I just want to jump right in because like this is going to be really exciting because like a lot of people know Issa Rae. A lot of
Mhm.
people know Quinta Brunson, and a lot
Mhm.
of people know like the few and far between Black women who are in filmmaking and things like that. So
Mhm.
tell me, how did you find film?
Funny story.
Mhm,
I took a film class in high school,
mhm,
and it was an elective. I had to fill my schedule up my senior year. And when I took it, I was like, "This is gonna be easy."
mhm.
And it wasn't hard, but it was an eye opener to
Mhm.
how films are made. I've always
Yeah.
been into movies. Like my dad used to take me and my sister, and we would have family nights, of course, too, where we just go to the movies.
Yeah.
And I was always fascinated with behind the scenes.
Mhm.
And so I was like, "Oh, let me just explore that a little bit." I had a whole plan for when I went to college, what I would study.
I love it.
Like, I was like, "Oh, I'll do journalism and or English major, whatever."
Mhm.
And then, after taking that class, I was like, "You know what? I think I actually wanna explore film more in media."
Mhm.
And when did my campus tour of Cookman, and I was like, "Is there a film department?" And they were like, "No, but there's mass communications,
Mhm.
so
You
you
know
can
who did
learn."
have a film department?
Oh.
FAMU.
Oh.
It's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know what? We getting there. We gonna get there
We
one
gonna get
day.
that.
We gonna get
I
there one
love it.
day.
I love
But no, so
it.
but I'm glad I did do mass
Yeah.
comm and didn't go right into film. I
Mhm.
needed to learn just the ins and outs of media
Yeah.
and like news, all that. And that's where I
Mhm.
realized, I don't want to do news. It's
Okay.
depressing. It's it's so competitive. It's like
Yeah.
too much
Mhm.
go, go, go.
Yeah.
So then that's when I explored film school,
Mhm.
applied to a lot of different places. I said, I've always had the dream of coming to LA.
Okay.
Just like I said, I've been into movies
And you're not
and
from LA?
no,
You said
I'm
you're
not
from Michigan. Okay,
no, I'm
yeah.
not from LA, but it's
Mhm.
always been a dream of mine to live here.
Yeah.
And from there I got accepted into film school.
Mhm.
And it's been such a ride. And that's how I got into film.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
So you go to BCC and you're like, okay, here's this dream that I have. I want to pursue film. And then you realize that there's this roadblock here where I
Hmm.
have to take an alternative route. What was your thought process when you had that roadblock? Like, how did you overcome that moment?
Uh, well, I've always, even at Cookman, I was behind the scenes. Like I wasn't trying to be an anchor or
Right,
anything,
right.
but I love to write.
Hmm.
But I wanted to do something like interesting.
Right.
So when a lot of my classmates were exploring things like I want to be an anchor, I want to work for this news station and things like that, I just didn't know
Hmm.
what to do.
Got you.
So that's when I talked to actually one of my professors in my
Hmm.
major,
Hmm.
Dr. Cotton, rest in peace.
Oh,
And he was saying, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I
right.
said, "Well, I just want to be behind the scenes for movies and
Got you.
TV." And he was
Hmm.
like, "Well, then you probably want to go to film school."
Hmm.
If you're not going to just go right out to LA and try to find work.
Right.
And I was like, I'm someone that I need to sit in someone's classroom first
Hmm.
before jumping out into the wild. And
Yeah.
that's for anything. So if I
Yes.
get a new
Hmm.
interest of mine that
Hmm.
I'll be going to school for it.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's,
So what aspect of film, I guess, speaks to you most? Is it the writing? Is it the like, say for instance, if you're in the back doing lighting, or
mhm.
if you're doing like, I don't know, like creating the what is it, the framing? Yeah,
Cinematography. Yeah.
cinematography. There we go.
Yeah. A lot of different
Mhm.
avenues piqued my interest
Okay.
of filmmaking. When I at my film school, I attended the New York Film Academy and I took the
Okay.
filmmaking track. And they have so many different tracks, but filmmaking is what teaches you everything from
Wow.
direct,
Yeah.
mostly emphasis on directing.
Hmm.
But there's screenwriting classes we had to take, cinematography,
Hmm.
lighting,
Yeah.
um, producing.
Hmm.
And the thing that interests me the most will always be screenwriting.
Hmm.
And I thought it was directing at some point, but
Hmm.
I don't. And I used to be in this bubble like a lot of film school students are, where it's
Hmm.
like, if I write it, I need to direct it.
Got
And
you.
it's like, no, I
Hmm.
can write it
Hmm.
and collaborate, and someone else can
Yeah.
see my vision and
Yeah.
make it
Hmm.
something else like than what I could imagine.
Hmm.
So directing was my interest, but it's really honestly producing, although it could
Okay.
be a headache.
Hmm.
Um, Producing and screenwriting is
Hmm.
what really is
Hmm.
my interest with filmmaking.
Okay. And that's awesome. Like, I think that a lot of times that I know for myself, when I went to college, there were moments in college where I was like, I just really don't know what I want to do. And I think it's dope that you had like that plan before you got there. So you didn't have to get there and try to figure it out. For me, I had to try to figure it out. Yeah. Like from a kid, yeah, I definitely wanted to be a doctor and things like
Uh-huh.
that. But there were, obstacles and scenarios that kind of moved me a little bit away from that. And then when I got to college, I was still like, I'm going to do pre med and I'm going to do this, that, and the other. And then life was just like, okay, well, here's what it is. And
Right.
here's what it really takes.
Right.
And so I need you to either stick with it or have an aha moment right now so you can shift gears and actually get into something that's going to be still beneficial in a purpose path, but it's something that you can actually sustain. And because there's a lot of people who go into these fields and they just really can't sustain it because they did
Mhm.
it because it was a popular thing to do.
Mhm.
Do you feel like someone else might like what influenced you to go into film? Like you say you already liked films, you
Uh-huh.
already liked watching them, but
Uh-huh.
like was there something specific that made you have an interest in like, you know what? I want to do that.
Huh. Well, there weren't I've seen, I feel like, so many films created by us.
Yeah.
Um, I always had, like, a film knowledge, and I thinking it was normal, and
Mhm.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, "Wow, a lot of films are
Mhm.
like," or I like quote movies, and
Yeah.
I have to explain it because some people they don't get it. So,
Yeah.
um, it didn't take like, I don't know what
Mhm.
made it was just something in me where it was
Yeah.
like, I had a ball in that film class in high
Mhm.
school,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yeah, I need to explore that more." But what really got my interest in film it wasn't like like a person
Mhm.
or a certain film. It was just I like the process of creating something people
Mhm.
enjoy
Yeah.
and people can escape to.
Mhm.
Like, cause entertainment, film, TV, that's all escapism for
Mhm.
people, like the
Yeah.
viewer.
Yeah.
So like I like creating these imaginary worlds, these
Mm.
characters, and then when I was taught how that process is, like
Mhm.
it's grueling,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
those set days are
Mhm.
crazy, uh,
Yes.
but it was so I loved it. Like I
Mhm.
loved that hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, that's when I was like, this is what I want to do. In
Mhm.
some scope, I want to be
Mhm.
behind the scenes.
Yeah. So would you consider yourself like Lord of the Rings filmmaker, or would you be like a comedy, like a Friday After Next type of
Mm,
sorry, filmmaker?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Um, I feel I hate putting myself in a box
You don't
when
have
it
to. I'm
when
just
it
saying, like, well, okay, so what type of films are you
Mhm.
drawn to?
Well, when it comes to films, because like I'm getting more into TV,
Mhm.
because that lasts a little longer. But
It does. It does. It
but
does.
for film, I would say dramas,
Okay.
stories that really have a message,
Mhm.
underrepresented voices.
Got you.
That's not always traumatic.
Yeah.
With a
Yeah.
little bit of comedy. So I would say
Yeah.
dramedy.
Yeah.
I've experimented with the comedies and even
Mhm.
the horrors too when I was in
Ooh.
film school.
Mhm.
I do like horrors.
Me too.
Jordan Peele's my guy. I
Yes.
that's if I'm gonna go into that space alone,
Yes.
that's who I want to
But
be.
just don't let your villain to be a hot air balloon with legs. 'Cause I was
Over
like,
Nope.
Nope kinda disappointed me a little bit at the end.
I
Like,
love
you were getting
Nope.
me there, and then
Yes.
at the very
It
end,
was like,
wah,
that's
wah, wah,
it.
wah, wah, I'm like,
Just for it to be like you
for
said, a
it to
hot air
be
balloon.
yeah, like a silk octopus in the sky, or
Mhm.
what no, was it jellyfish
Yes, it was like a jellyfish, like a
thing.
aluminum thing. It
Yeah.
was an alien, but
Oh, it
yeah, it
was.
was
Oh,
an alien.
yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
catch that.
Yep, yep,
I
it
was
was an
just
alien.
like, "What is this?"
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just an alien we never seen before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an alien we've never seen before. And yeah. I so because Us was so good,
Mhm.
I was like, "I am going to see this movie." And because Get Out was amazing. It was very, very good. And I was like, "Dang, bro, you just wrote this." And I was just like, because that kinda speaks to what you were saying. It
Mhm.
has the underlying messages. It
Mhm.
has the underrepresented voices, but it also has triumph
Right. It's
in
not in
the
your
end.
face of,
Yeah.
like, the trauma.
Yeah.
That's what I wanna get
Yeah.
away from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so would you say that traumas are not something that you wanna, like, deal with? Or is it just something that like, so what would be the reason for not wanting to be able to represent trauma in film?
If I'm gonna have trauma,
Mhm.
it's needs to have triumph, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't mind the traumas of, like, everyday like,
Mhm.
of what life brings, like,
Right.
there's a lot of things that happen,
Right.
but
Yeah.
for it to be, like, a constant thing of, like, because for one, my, protagonists are always Black women. I don't wanna put us through
Yeah.
like, through so much when
Mhm.
we're already go through so much, like,
Yeah.
we're Black people in general, we're not monoliths,
Mhm.
so,
Yeah.
we can be in these fantasies, we can
Right.
be in horrors where we actually are the final girl, and we can be so many different things in
Right.
film,
Right.
which is why I wanna get away from just being like, I don't want my breakout of
Yeah.
project to be, "It's a drama
Right.
about this Black woman that goes through all these hoops and still loses, and
And
it's
still
and still
loses.
loses, or she's gotta find I don't know, she gotta
Yeah.
find herself.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Like I recently saw a post or something. It was an Instagram post and the person posted because they reposted from TikTok.
Uh-huh.
And there was some person, I don't even know who the lady was, but it was like a white lady who was talking about Meghan Markle and
Uh-huh.
saying that she was out of touch
Because of her
because
show,
of her
yeah.
show.
Mhm.
And it's like, and then somebody like posted again and commented on the white lady's
Yeah.
whole thing. And it's just like, why don't you want to see Black women living lives that are prosperous, that are well, that are high echelon? You know what I'm saying? That are wealthy, that
Mhm.
are, Martha Stewart type
Right,
things. You
right.
want Martha Stewart to be able
I
to have
love
these
it.
scenarios.
I love the Duchess. that what she
But
is? The Duchess?
I get I don't need a
I
lie.
love Meghan Markle.
Exactly, but you don't want Meghan Markle to do this. So why is it so hard for her to be viewed in that same place as a Princess Diana?
Well, I mean, she's Black. Well, half Black. Um,
Yeah.
and it's a subconscious thing. I don't think um Caucasian people understand that. When they think that way or they're like
Mhm.
appalled at
Mhm.
things like that,
Mhm.
it's a subconscious because how dare she have this, that, and the third,
And I
or a
don't.
soft life, and
Mhm.
I don't.
Ooh.
Or, like it's just like it's jealousy. Like it's just like
Yeah.
when anyone else could be jealous of something you have or you
Right.
got going on, and
Mhm.
they think they should be having it.
Mhm.
But that's just a subconscious
Yeah.
thing.
You know what's so crazy? I was actually very oblivious to the things that other people might perceive about me that they would think was something
Same.
that was beneficial to me. Like I was extremely oblivious to it because I was always just like, I'm just a regular person and I'm
Same.
just, I'm just, I'm
Same.
just, I'm just. And it wasn't until like my guy pointed me to the side. He was like, hey, you don't realize that people are looking at you like this because you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, and you make it all happen. And it's not really a huge push. You don't really need a whole lot of somebody else trying to get you to go. You
Yeah.
are a self-starter
Yes.
in
Yeah.
these things.
That's
You have
admirable.
you have the
Mhm.
creativity to make certain things happen. You have the ability to be like, you know what? I don't know how to do this, but I can find somebody. You know how to, network in a way where you can connect people together
Mhm.
and get the person to understand, hey, so here's how the vision works, yada, yada. Here's a role that you play, yada, yada. And so I was like, I never really thought about that. He was like, yeah. He was like, you gotta also think that you're a bad bitch, like other people think that
Right.
you're a bad bitch.
Right.
Like you can't be the only person who doesn't see it. And I was like, huh,
Mhm.
well, maybe I do
You gotta
gotta be
tap in. You
right.
gotta tap in.
And so it's like, how do we get to the place where, because honestly, as Black women, and especially in dealing with each other and with other, like with men, how do you feel we should
Mhm.
get to the point where we can really connect in like sisterhood and things like that?
Um, I think we have to change our mindset
Mhm.
first of how we're not in competition with each other. Like the world has been saying that since we were
Yeah.
kids, that
Yes.
you got to compete, especially if there's only two of us
Oh.
in the room.
Oh.
You have to beat her,
Oh.
whether it's over a man, a job, whatever. We're always going to be in competition. So they made us feel like. So
Yeah.
we have to understand that like this. I know like there's always like those that different crowd
Yeah.
who's always going to be like, yeah, that not all skin folk is
Correct.
kinfolk. Yes,
Correct.
but we need to lead with the mentality like
Mhm.
this is my sister, this is my
Right.
brother,
Right.
and to help each other.
Mhm.
One thing I took away, I guess we'll get to that later,
Mhm.
about Issa Rae
Yeah.
is every time she interviews, and
Mhm.
I watch it, all her interviews, is she always says network across.
Yeah.
And since then, I've always done that.
Mhm.
Like you never know who's gonna pop,
Mhm.
who's gonna ride with you,
Right.
and if you ride with them, what they gonna
Right.
put you on. You never know.
Right.
So to always think of the mindset first of this is my not my enemy, but my
Mhm.
friend,
Yeah.
until proven otherwise, of
So
course.
would you say Issa is one of like your inspirations or your I guess mental mentors and things like that?
I would say, yeah,
Mhm.
inspiration for sure, because
Yeah.
her story is incredible.
Mhm.
It's so it's one in a million for sure, because not
Yeah.
everyone can, for one, go the distance with a web series for that long.
Exactly.
And then, like, and to see it from, like, day one to
Right.
what it ended up being,
Mhm.
it almost looked like Insecure by the time it was done.
Exactly.
And then to go from that to
To
Insecure to
actual
all this
insecure.
other stuff,
Yeah. And
like
people are still thirsty for seeing
Y
more.
yes. Yeah, I miss Insecure. I was watching it
I
last
do
night.
too. I do too.
Yes.
Because the nuances were real and
Mhm.
honest. It wasn't made up and wasn't full of stuff that we can't relate to,
Right.
that we don't see. Even if you don't live in Inglewood, California, there's still something you can relate
Exactly.
to.
I love that she made Inglewood the star of the show in a sense, like, all the different
Yes.
locations, like,
Yes.
I've been there," like,
Right.
all those Black businesses she highlighted.
Mhm.
It's inspiration because if she can do
Yep.
this, so can I, and so can you, and
Absolutely.
so can anyone who want,
Mhm.
like, you just gotta keep going, and
Right.
it's gonna take a minute.
Yes, it
But
is.
but you gotta, and in
Yeah.
the meantime, sometimes you'll switch tracks or just
Mhm.
maybe do something to sustain you, because financially, you gotta, it's expensive out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But you just always gotta do what you came here for,
Right. Yeah. So you mentioned a moment ago that, being able to create that sense of belonging amongst Black women and
Mhm.
creating that sense of understanding that we are like a unit. Like, so as a part of a sorority, is that
Mhm.
kind of where that comes from for you? Or was that like, how was that transition for you?
I feel like it's been more instilled in me since
Okay.
joining. I was initiated in fall 2021
Okay.
on the graduate level.
Hmm.
Um, and before then, I've always had a sense of sisterhood.
Hmm.
I would a lot of some, well, not a lot, but some sorority sisters or line sisters, they always, their why is always, I never had a sister, or I never, and I'm like, well, I
Mm.
have a sister, and we get along so well.
Yeah.
We do everything together.
Hmm.
And then I also had friends who, they're like sisters to me, and
Right.
also seen my mother as a child, like, have friends around the house and
Right.
seeing how their friendship is. I've always been like a girl's girl.
Hmm.
So that's where that's came from. It's just
Hmm.
always been in me. And
Yeah.
then, being in a sorority heightened it.
Got you.
Yeah.
So what made you choose a specific sorority that you are a part of?
Um, well, I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And what made me choose that is I grew up with it, for
Hmm.
one.
Yeah.
My mom's, all of her church friends were AKAs. And they raised me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they had a hand in raising me. When my father had passed when I was
Hmm.
14,
Hmm.
they were the first ones at the house.
Hmm.
And they were at the house for like months on end,
Wow.
with like tending to the house,
Hmm.
cooking for us, and just really being there.
Yeah.
And they've also instilled in me of service. It's to always
Yeah.
serve our community.
Hmm.
And I was always at my church's community service stuff.
Hmm.
Sometimes like I could go to the sorority
Yeah.
public events
Hmm.
with them, and that's just what I was raised on. So
Got
there
you.
was like no other way for me.
Got you.
Mhm.
Yeah. My grandmother, she would always be doing these prayer breakfasts or whatever, because
Mhm.
she's also an AKA. But
Okay.
so she was always like designing some type of program and this and that. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
you are always busy. And I was like, good Lord, how do you manage to do it? She was like, because, so my soror did this and I did this. I'm like, good God Almighty. Okay. So that was definitely something that I can relate to, as far as her watching and witnessing her have that same sense of like belonging and connection, because when she's experienced things, she's also had like people to come and people to like be a part. She recently, like even still, she's like eight- I would not tell her age because she's like, nobody needs to know my age. I'm still 35. Just put it like this, my grandfather just turned 90, so she is not. So, what I need to do is I need to be able to be like, "Okay, so how do I help and how do I figure out as far as you go,
Mhm.
how do I be a part of your same type of a network?" Because she and I had to also, like you said before, create my own tribe.
Mhm.
Like, and my tribe wasn't necessarily in a sorority, but had friends and I had relationships that created
Sorry,
that
my
for
phone's
me.
going off. Sorry.
It's
Is that what
okay.
he's trying to come? You're like, I wish they would stop texting.
It's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay. But yeah, so like she had her tribe. And so I was trying to figure out how to find my own tribe.
Mhm.
And I was trying to figure out like, what are my ways? Because like I wasn't really connected to a whole lot of people because when I went to college, I went to FAMU. So we're from California. I make it to Florida and I start to meet people who are a part of church and things like that. So I didn't necessarily have sorority friends and sisters
Mhm.
and stuff like that, but I had my church friends and my church
Mhm.
sisters and things like that. And so I was like, okay, well, let me build my tribe there. And so I can understand that, but we definitely did not like stand the test of time. Like a lot of us, like, went off and lived our own lives and things like that. There's no bad blood, but
Mhm.
we went off and lived our own lives and there was no real connections.
Mhm.
So it's like I'm still having to redo it again when I came back here because I
Yeah.
lived in Chicago for 10 years
Yeah.
before I came back to California. So I'm having to start over afresh and over
Mhm.
again. So, what would you say is the best piece of advice that you would have for someone who's trying to form those relationships?
Um, yeah. It's so, like, as you get older, it's so
Yes.
difficult to find friends, but
Yes.
for one, go places,
Mhm.
especially go places that kind of like how they tell you when you want to meet a man. If you want to make friends, go places where you want to find that friend.
Yeah.
Like if you're a reader, you want a friend that reads, go to
Yeah.
the bookstore, or like
Yeah.
the events that deal with literature,
Yeah.
or don't just go to parties trying to find that friend. But also realize what type of, like, think about what type of friend you want and what type of friend you want to be or you think you are.
Mhm.
And you'll find those people. Like, if
Yeah.
you're like for me, for example, I can't have male-centered women in my circle where it's like they're
Mm.
boy crazy, and it's fine to want a
Yeah.
relationship or to be in a relationship,
Right,
but
right.
to make that person your life or to always talk about, "I wanna get married, I wanna get married, I wanna get married," and it's like,
Yeah.
and when they talk to you, they only wanna know, "Well, who are you dating?" It's like, "Well, girl, like, what about work? What about my
Girl,
dream?"
is that
Like,
it? That's all you
right,
got?
it's like, that's all, like, you only care when I'm talking to somebody, so, yeah, so that's what I would say is you have to think about, what type of friend you wanna be or that you believe you are,
Mhm.
and what type of friend you want, and from there, like, whoever you meet along the way,
Mhm.
you gotta check off those boxes just like you
Yeah.
do with dating. You got to take your friendships
Yeah.
seriously like you do your
Yeah.
dating,
Yeah.
and you have to vet people.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I actually tried to be I tried, Bumble BFF
Oh,
at
yeah,
one
I've heard
point,
mhm.
and I was like, "I must be desperate because I am online trying to make friends with people." And it was literally just because I wanted to meet people because I was new here, like new here,
Uh-huh.
coming back because, like, I'm from here originally. I moved to, Alabama in high school, and then I went to college in Florida,
Okay.
and then I moved to Chicago and lived
A lot
most
of
of my adult
moving.
life, and then I came back here in 2020.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, I'm back new here. I don't really know the friends that I knew in elementary and middle school here,
Mhm.
so I gotta make new friends again."
Mhm.
So that was kinda one of the ways that I was trying to branch out, but like you said, you have to vet people because I met a person who was trying to have me to be a third to their whatever, and I'm like,
Oh,
that's not what I came for.
no.
I'm not interested in that. Thanks, but no." Um, and then and then I had somebody who was like, wanted to only go to parties, and I was like,
Mhm.
"That's also not me. I need somebody who's balanced. I will
Yes.
go out,
But not
but
every
I'm
day,
not gonna do it
girl.
all the
Not
time.
every day.
I will definitely go out,
Yes.
but not all the time."
Mhm.
And then I found somebody who was trying to get me to be their babysitter. I was like,
Okay.
"Girl, we're both moms. Like, we can do things together
Right.
with our kids."
Right.
But sometimes my kid will be where she needs to be as
Mhm.
well, but I don't need a babysitter. I just trying to have a home girl. What are we
Right.
doing?
Right.
So yes, but I did actually end up meeting one really good friend.
Nice.
And she and I are still friends like to this day. And that was worth all the craziness. But after I met her and we actually connected, I was like, okay, I'm done here. That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
I don't need like 12 friends.
Uh-huh.
One is
Right.
cool.
Right.
One is cool. And then of course I organically ended up meeting a couple other friends as well. But I was like, this is a weird experience. Very weird. So I was just like, so how would I frame going to something like this? Because literally, you have to understand that in those scenarios, everybody has their own like state of being and state of thinking and
Mhm.
things like that.
Mhm.
And what I didn't realize is everybody isn't trying to be well.
Yeah.
Everybody isn't trying to be healed.
Yes.
So
Some people like chaos.
yeah, some of them like chaos
Some
and trauma.
people like
And I was
chaos.
like, wait a minute. I thought we was all trying to, and the real thing is my feed is wellness. My feed is people trying to glow up.
Mhm.
My feed is people trying to grow.
Mhm.
It's not ratchetry.
Mm-mm.
It's a little sprinkle in there every now and then. You'd be like, girl,
Right.
but that's not it.
Right.
So, what would you say is the best piece of advice somebody's giving you on how to
Mhm.
make sure that you balance out your life?
That's a good question. For one, for balance of life is to stay off that phone so much.
Mm.
Like, I turn I think I got this advice like years ago where they were like, turn off your notifications for those apps that you be on. Like, you can still
Mm-hmm.
be on them,
Yep.
but turn them off so that
Yeah.
you have to go into the app to see what's going on.
Yep.
So, that's one thing. Um, don't look at your phone early in the morning. I meditate
Okay.
when I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I have for affirmations that I
Mm-hmm.
say.
Yeah.
Um, and to also read.
Yeah.
Yeah, read for enjoyment, not
Yeah.
always nonfiction.
Right.
Fiction,
Yeah.
like stories that
Yeah.
someone created
Yeah.
in their head.
Yeah. You can't
And
always read Viola Davis Becoming every day.
right.
That's heavy.
Think
That book was extremely heavy. I was like,
or just like
girl.
like these just self-help books, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like
Right.
balance is like to and also just to find joy. Like this is a different piece of advice I got, but
Mm-hmm.
to find joy in what you're doing, even if it's
Mm.
not like bringing the money or it's
Yeah.
like not, it's on a small scale.
Right.
Like don't do things just so everyone else can see.
Mm.
And after like adopting that,
Mm-hmm.
I've I'm putting myself out there more because
Mm-hmm.
like I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if like I'm
Yeah.
somewhere like if it's small scale and it's like
Mm-hmm.
not every it doesn't get a whole bunch of likes or I'm still doing it. I'm
Right.
still doing my art. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still expressing myself in the way
That's
God
awesome.
intended.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. So would you say that those would be your general wellness practices, or are they just like a part, like in the mix?
That's my general wellness.
Okay.
Including of course working out, but
Mm-hmm.
but for sure reading,
Yeah.
taking some time away from the phone.
Yeah.
Um when you get those notifications on
Yeah.
your phone saying how much your screen time was, when
Mm-hmm.
it's high,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see it as a game. Like I'm like, let me lower my screen
Right.
time. So I'm like,
I love it.
yeah.
Yeah. I actually went on a wellness retreat
Mhm.
with Alafia Wellness,
Oh, nice.
and it was in South Carolina,
Mhm.
and I was there for I think 4 or 5 days. Spent the entire time there not using my phone at all. I challenged myself. Nobody else made me do it.
Mhm.
Nobody else was like that, like doing that themselves. But I challenged myself. I was like, I am not answering my phone or making any phone calls the entire time that I am there. I informed my daughter. I
Mhm.
said, I'm not talking on the phone for the next 5 days. I will talk to you after it's over. If an emergency happens, call Miss TJ. She'll let me know because
Mhm.
you got her number and she's right here. So
Mhm.
call her, let me know.
Mhm.
And then that time was so amazing to me. She actually, luckily, she was gone for the summer, so it was easy to have her taken care
Mhm.
of. But that time was so amazing for me to be able to kind of, like you say, reset and give myself an opportunity to refuel and fill myself back up because I wanted to meditate. I wanted to spend time in front of the water writing. I wanted to spend time in nature, just kind of breathing and not real meditation, but just breathing and being present in the
Mhm.
fact that I am in a place that God created and it's beautiful
Mhm.
and it's majestic and it's wonderful and it's something that is full of wonder, like how waves are created, how everything is interconnected. So that moment for me is something that I would encourage a lot of people to do because it's like, how do you step away and refuel and reset
Yeah.
yourself? Like,
Yeah.
what would be the way? Well, let me ask you that. How do you step away and do that?
Huh. Like when I need a break,
Yeah, when you just need to just get away from it all.
I book a getaway. um and I
Yes.
just like I said, no phones, but
Mhm.
I take time to myself, like be with myself, be in
Mhm.
my room, I journal.
Yeah.
Um, and then I find something that's like relaxing. If I can't do a getaway, I go to a spa.
Yeah.
Um, and then I just do things that bring me joy. Like I said, reading, but I also, of course, watch movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and my sister find something to do that's like low maintenance, that doesn't
Mhm.
require so much because
Yep.
going out in LA, it
It's a
can be such
lot.
a production.
It's a lot.
So so
It's a
that's what I
lot.
do.
Mhm.
I just unplug and like I do things that like make me happy. I
Mhm.
don't make everyone else's emergency my emergency,
That's key.
especially work.
That is key. Like, we as Black women, or women in general, have such a dedication to being superheroes that
Yes.
is to our detriment.
Yes. And no
What?
one else comes to save us. We gotta
No
save
one
everybody.
else.
Everybody.
We are definitely everybody else's superhero,
Mhm.
but it's like, well, where's my Superman? Or super whoever,
Right.
you know? And so I have to get myself to the point where I'm realizing that I can't always do that because
Mhm.
it's actually not helping me. And in turn, it's not helping the people that I think I'm helping.
Mhm.
Because if I'm not the best version of
Exactly.
myself,
You're not gonna give
I'm
your
gonna be a
best.
Krabby Patty to
Yep.
everybody.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing right now? You just out here being mean to people. Have you ever actually caught yourself on one of those days where it's just like, you know what? I got an attitude. I need to go home.
Yeah.
I've definitely caught myself.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
like,
just like, why do I have an attitude? Then I'm like,
I need to go home.
yeah, I need to go home. I need to get away
Yeah.
from here. Like, even if
Yeah.
it's for like an extended period of time,
Mhm.
I'm like, if I'm still mad the next, let me
Right.
just get,
Yeah.
let me just get away
Mhm.
from whoever
Yeah.
is causing me this
I've
stress.
definitely had moments where I'm like, you know what? I'm tripping. I'm the problem. I need to go home. I'm the problem. This is me. I am the reason why this chaos has happened in this moment. I need to go home. And you got to be able to be honest with yourself about
Mhm.
that. And I don't think a lot of people are
A lot of
honest
people aren't
because
self-aware.
we're so busy trying to defend and deflect and to say reasons why everybody else is the problem.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes
And we
it's
don't look at
you.
ourselves.
So what would you say is different from your current wellness practices from when you first started?
Oh, now it's just like I do it as a requirement,
Mhm.
or else I'm like, if I don't do X, Y, and Z,
Mhm.
I will not have a good day.
Mhm.
I will not be my best self. When
Mm.
before it was like, I'll do it when I get stressed. And it's like, no.
Reactionary.
Yeah, reactionary
Uh-huh.
wellness. And now it's just like, you
Ooh.
must do it.
Reactionary wellness. I love
Yes.
that. We're gonna coin that term.
Yes. We're just like, oh, I'm so stressed. Let me go to the spa. No, let me go to the spa just because I got
Right.
the time, I got the money,
Mhm.
and I have nothing else to do
Right.
on this fine Saturday, you know?
Let's make it happen.
So, yeah.
Yes. So, in your wellness practices, I know you mentioned talking about fitness and things like that.
Mhm.
I'm on my fitness journey as well.
Mhm.
So, what would you think? What has your fitness journey looked like?
Oof. It's such a zigzag of
Mm-hmm.
a journey, but I've always been an overweight
Mm-hmm.
kid growing up.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I was in college, I weighed 305 pounds. Yeah, girl.
Oh, you lost some weight.
Yeah. And, I had, like, on my mom's insurance, she had, like, a nurse come to,
Mm-hmm.
like, my apartment at the time. I was, like, yeah, junior
Mm-hmm.
in college, and, just to do regular tests and everything.
Mm-hmm.
A week later, results came back saying I was pre-diabetic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my mom told me, and she's always growing up, she's been, like, kind and trying to get me
Mm-hmm.
to lose weight,
Right.
but she told me what was going on, I was like, "Oh," and I do not do hospitals, I don't like
No.
I don't like medication,
Mm-mm.
especially seeing, my sister growing up had a rare disease,
Mm-hmm.
so we were in and out of the hospital a lot, and I was like, "I don't want that."
Yeah.
So I had to do something. I had no knowledge
Mm-hmm.
about, like, eating right and exercise, I just took the little information I did have,
Mm-hmm.
trying to lose weight over the years that failed. And I cleaned out my whole fridge
Mm-hmm.
one day, went to the grocery store and got brown rice and fruits and vegetables, lean meats.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped with dairy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know I was lactose intolerant until like I tried to have it again years later. But I
Wow.
stopped dairy. Got rid of beef and pork.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I eat beef a little bit
Mm-hmm.
here and there, but I completely off pork.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I went to the gym every day,
Mm-hmm.
in between classes whenever I could,
Wow.
and I just saw it as like, because I also had like a super senior year, so like I had two more years to
Mm-hmm.
go,
Yeah.
and I just the weight just fell off since then,
Mm-hmm.
and people at school were like, "Wow, like what have you been doing?"
Right.
And
Right.
that's great. And over time, I think a year later, I
Mm-hmm.
started in 2011. So like in a year, I lost like 100 pounds.
Wow.
So, and since then, I've kept majority of it off. I've
Mm-hmm.
had my moments where it's like it's up, it's down.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
cardio bods, which is like
What is a
real,
cardio bod?
where your body just looks like you've been doing just cardio,
Oh, okay.
and it's just like real skinny.
Mm-hmm.
And then versus when you're like weightlifting or
Mm-hmm.
incorporating strength training, you look toned.
Got you.
So
That's what I want.
yes. So you gotta do both. I don't care what nobody say. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people try to say, just do cardio, just do strength. No, you gotta do both.
Right. Absolutely.
especially like lifting. Like
Mhm.
that's a big thing.
Mhm.
But that's been my weight loss journey. And
Mhm.
from there in 2020, I created my fitness YouTube channel. Yeah, the Beast and
Really?
Beauty.
Okay.
Yes, so
I didn't
that's
even know about
yeah.
that.
So that's one of my channels that
Mhm.
I have. In 2020, because we are on lockdown,
Mhm.
I had got a trainer that I met that fall in 2019.
Mhm.
And when I was able to like pay her and everything,
Mhm.
that's when we had to do everything remote. So she just
Right.
gave me the workouts. I would work out in my living room
Mhm.
or out in the little backyard area.
Mhm.
And I lost like 26 pounds in the pandemic. So I did the 75
Wow.
hard challenge.
Yes.
And that was like my fittest, like my absolute
Wow.
fittest from 2020 to like 2022,
Uh-huh.
23. Then life just happened. And
Yeah.
like I'm a stress eater. So, so
And if somebody can create a pill to where we can no longer eat when we're stressed or not have those cravings, I'd
Mhm.
probably buy it. And not Ozempic and not whatever the other stuff is,
So many pills say that they do that, but
because I don't want to have the lollipop head with the little
yes.
skinny body.
Yes.
I want to be able to have a balance.
Yes.
Cause these some and maybe it's mental. I actually am a part of this Facebook group called Gym Girlies.
Okay.
And I was like, I posed the question out there. So how do you guys get yourself to stop having and dealing with all these cravings? Does anybody have experience with a food therapist, or I
Uh-huh.
forgot what the name of it was? And
A
somebody was like,
nutrition.
a,
Oh
nu-
yeah, food
a
therapist.
food
Yeah.
therapist. And so
Mhm.
I was just like, how do you do that? And they were just like, somebody was just like, girl, you just gotta stop eating. Stop being so damn fat. I was like, I'm in the
It's
wrong
hard.
place. I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place. I am definitely of the frame of mind that I need, or not I need, but when I've had trainers, because now I kind of do it myself. I also work out.
Mhm.
Um, when I've had a trainer, I have been like, look, if you've never been fat or if you've never had to lose any weight, I don't need you as my trainer because I need you to be able to understand this process. I don't need you having unrealistic expectations about what it looks like for me to get to where I need to be.
Exactly.
I need you to really understand time to completion. And I also need you to understand process, ebbs and flows, ups and downs, all that kind of stuff. Because that's how it happens.
Mhm. For real. Like, so you're very right about that.
Mhm.
If I don't take advice from people who
Who've been skinny all their
right,
life.
their only weight loss journey has been to tone up.
Right.
Like you if you didn't have a gut to lose or
You don't know my
your
story,
thigh
sis.
exactly. If you never had to be in plus size clothing, then you don't know the struggle.
Mhm.
Especially and that's just without any problems like PCOS or
Right.
hormonal imbalance, like
Right.
things like that. So
And
it
a lot of them think that that's not real.
yeah, or at least studies have that degree where
Mhm.
you study the human body
Right.
and how it responds to certain foods,
Yep.
exercise, because
Yep.
there are certain exercises you do need to do in order to get certain results.
Wait. Specify? Cause maybe I don't know this. I want to hear it. Hit me to game.
Well, like I said, like strength training,
Mhm.
what's one? Side planks is great if you want those side abs, like those that cut,
Really?
when you're building your abs, which are in the kitchen, but of
Right.
course there's exercises to
Mhm.
help that.
Yeah.
Side planks help.
I
Um,
hate side planks, but I gotta do them.
everything you hate that's probably what you have to
Right.
do.
Right.
Like
Right.
lunges for sure help with
Yeah.
side lunges, front lunges, back lunges, help with those
Oh, okay, okay,
thighs.
okay. Yeah.
I grew a love for jump rope.
Mhm.
And I never thought I could jump as thick as I've been.
Mhm.
I've never thought that I could like be a jump roper, but
Wow.
I be jump roping. I love it. It's the best cardio in my
Mhm.
opinion. It burns a lot
Okay.
of calories. It really tones
Mhm.
that lower body,
Mhm.
and it helps with your balance and your
Okay.
cadence.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
how it would help with balance.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I never even thought about jump rope like that. Every time I go to my cousin, he's a personal trainer, but every time I
Hmm.
go to him, he like incorporates jumping rope in there, and I'm like, let me hurry up and do these jump ropes so I can
Yep.
get done with this. I hate
Keep
this
doing
part.
it, girl.
So
Keep doing it. 15, 20 minutes a day before your
a
workout.
whole 15 minutes on the jump rope?
Yeah.
I'm mad when he says do 100 rotations. You're talking about 15 minutes? Girl, No.
You said,
Ooh.
"No, anyway."
Oh, no. I mean, I'm just saying, no, that's not what I've been doing. I'm not gonna say I would never do it in the future. Oh, Jesus, give me strength. 15 minutes? Like, how do you not fall off?
You gotta just build up to it. Of course, I had to build up to it,
Oh my
but
gosh. I'm thinking about if I can do 3. 3 minutes. Well, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I can hold my own a little bit in the gym. I do weightlifting as well, but
nice.
I'm gonna tell you the cardio does get to me a little bit. I tried to do the steps
Oh, the Stairmaster.
stairmaster, and so right now I can do 5 minutes not holding on. The
Okay.
rest of the time I gotta hold on. I don't got
I hold
nothing else.
on.
But I try to at least like do like this for the first 5 minutes
Uh-huh.
so I can
Get
build
that,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'm like, okay, so these other 10 minutes, because all I'm doing is 15 minutes right now, and that's all I got.
15 is pretty good for the
Yeah, I
Stairmaster.
can do
That's
15
pretty good.
minutes. But yeah, 10 of those minutes I'm holding on. 5 of those minutes, my
Okay.
first 5 minutes, I'm like,
Keep
okay,
keep going. You'll
you
be a
know,
pro.
that's all I got though.
Mhm.
But I'm thinking about how hard it is, and I'm holding on to something. How I can do a jump rope.
You can do it.
Okay. Okay. I'm a I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. So, last thing, what do you feel is like next for you? What is the thing?
Mm.
So, number one, what's next for you? And number two, mentally, how are you preparing for what's next?
Mm. There's so many things I feel that's next. Well, I did turn in my final manuscript to my agent for
Hmm.
my children's fiction book, middle grade.
Nice.
Yes, middle grade sci-fi,
Hmm.
fantasy. So they're looking at it as we speak.
Hmm.
So the notes are gonna come probably next month.
Hmm.
Um, and then we'll hopefully send that out to
Hmm.
different publishing houses
Hmm.
and get a deal. So that's what I see as next.
Okay.
Now, there's so many other things I feel like I've put the seed in
Hmm.
that's starting to water.
Yeah.
But what's next that I would like to do as a passion project, aside from the blogging,
Hmm.
is I would like to do another short film.
Hmm.
I haven't done a short film in forever.
Hmm.
The last I did a web series in 2018
Hmm.
with my production partner at the time,
Yeah.
and we haven't done anything since. But
Hmm.
now we're getting back to writing again
Hmm.
together, also helping with each other's own stuff.
Yep.
Um, and that's what is next is
Hmm.
going back into the filmscape as
Hmm.
far as being creative. I feel like I've been on the side
Hmm.
of doing these videography things,
Yeah.
and I'm like, let me go back to what I even came out here for.
Right.
And now that I even know more than I did before, like as far as how to get money,
Mhm.
and marketing now too.
Yeah,
That's what I want to do next is a short film.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you feel how are you preparing for what's next?
Ugh, I have to think about how it doesn't have to be this big setup
Mhm.
where I don't have to film every weekend. We can
Mhm.
spread it out.
Mhm.
We can stop and go depending
Mhm.
on what money we get,
Yeah.
like, so that's how I'm mentally preparing myself, is not to put so much pressure on it,
Ooh.
especially when writing it.
Mhm.
So, and just again, using my contacts that I do
Mhm.
networking across,
Mhm.
that I did, gain, going to more networking events too, like,
Yeah.
that's how I'm mentally preparing because I have a tendency to have imposter syndrome where I'm just like,
Ooh.
"Oh, they don't wanna."
I don't yeah.
Yeah, like,
I don't belong
why
here.
right, I don't belong here. Why do they
Mm.
wanna, like, why would they wanna work with me? I don't have nothing
Mm.
to show. I ain't done it in years,
Mhm.
So that's how I'm mentally preparing myself, like,
Mm.
I'm here for a reason.
Yeah,
The passion's in me for a reason.
absolutely.
It's gonna work out.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, let me go ahead and tell you, you are definitely here for a reason. You definitely have it. Just from the little bit that I've seen, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for you
Thank
because
you.
it's amazing to see people operating in a thing that is unusual, but then being able to have so much creativity, so much passion, and so much talent behind them. So
Thank
I
you.
definitely look forward to what's next. And so if you need a little pep talk, I got you.
Thank you.
'Cause let's get these films, sis. You got it. But again, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for
It's
having
really been a
me.
pleasure having you on. And guys, what I will say is even if your path is not a linear path, even if the path that you're taking is not one that's conventional, you can still pursue it. You just have to find your own why. What is your why? And what is the thing that pushes you forward and causes you to feel like you are benefiting from this and you're also being able to create something that will stand the test of time and that will be a lasting effect or impact on others. And I just think that it's wonderful to be able to be surrounded by people like Sharice was saying, that you can network across and be able to glean and understand and learn from people from all different walks of life. So, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you are doing for yourself or for others, do it the very best that you can. Be good to yourself and be good to somebody else. Everybody, again, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a pleasure to be here with Sharice. And I just want to remind you guys to please make sure that you like, subscribe, share, and whatever it is that you need from us at the Well Brand Apparel, make sure that you tap in. We have our journals, as you can see,
Mhm.
placed around here. We got our merch and things like that. So, whatever it is that you need or the things that you might like, share it with yourself, share it with other people, because we got you covered. It's some dope things that's coming up for us. And if you want to reach us, please make sure that you look us up on www.sunshinestate.com. That is sunshine with an O. Again, that's www.sunshinestate.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. Y'all have a good one. Bye.
Don't be afraid of the crowd, laughing loud and feeling free. Never noticed till you there was more. They can see you really. So stand out, stand out, stand out. You're here, you're free, absolutely where you need to be. So stand out, stand out, stand out.
Welcome to the Sunshine State, a space for health, healing, and wellness.